Again, welcome to another edition of Exiles TV.
Is that
here.
God speaking?
Hello, it's me, the Lord.
And you have pissed
I'm sorry,
me off.
the studio monitors are kind of booming. You may not be able to hear it on your television
Oh, you
set.
can hear that. Trust me.
But so glad to have you with us. Today is an auspicious day. There's a lot happening. There is an election going on in Georgia that will determine whether or not one party holds control of the Senate or another party takes control of the Senate.
We're going to say who's going to be in charge of the Senate for the egg-sucking people in Georgia.
Yep, and the question is, do you trust the voters in Georgia or the system to, after November, do you trust Georgia to give you,
Not up to us to trust. It's up to the voters of Georgia to trust.
Exactly, that's it. We're placing ourselves in Georgia's hands. Also, the Senate meets today, and they're going to either confirm or not confirm the results of the election. I think it's all pretty much up to Mike Pence.
Is it tomorrow?
It's today the 5th or the 6th?
Today's the 5th.
5th? Okay, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Sorry.
Never mind.
Sorry. Never mind.
Speaking of tomorrow, yesterday we reported, I don't mean to laugh,
Well, it's kind of funny, but it's...
we reported that actress Tanya Roberts had passed away. We found out after we got off the air that Tanya Roberts did not pass away yesterday.
Well, yes. As of yesterday afternoon, she was actually still in the hospital and still alive. So her publicist just kind of jumped the gun, releasing that she had died.
Well, and she's now dead.
Yeah. Since yesterday afternoon, the poor woman at just 65 years of age has died. Here's what's even sadder. This is probably the most America's spoken or thought about Tanya Roberts
In decades.
since the early 2000s when she left the cast of that 70s show.
Well, again, now what happened here is her publicist, who is also a close family friend, Mike Pingle, had spoken with Lance O'Brien, who is her life partner. They never bothered to get married. But
Well, she lost her husband in the early 2000s
Yeah.
and she never remarried.
Yeah. And he came back from the hospital and told Pingle, I just said goodbye to Tanya and I got to see her beautiful eyes one last time. And then he just broke down crying. So
You tell me that, I'm going to assume she's dead.
well, yeah, sounds pretty dead to me. So
But the fact of the matter is, at the time, she was not.
So he released it, which was part of O'Brien and his plan. They said they weren't going to, talk about her being on life support or anything like that. But when she passed, they were going to say it. Well, she wasn't dead.
Yeah, I believe the hospital said, she's very much alive still.
Do you think they did the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail? I'm not dead yet.
Yes, he is. You'll be stone dead in a moment.
Yeah, give it some time. You'll be dead. But anyway, so at 9 o'clock Pacific time last night, the doctors called and told Mr. O'Brien that Tanya Roberts was indeed
Really,
dead.
most sincerely dead. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. This is horrible.
Has this ever happened to you?
That I've been somebody's... Yeah.
Has this ever happened to you?
Scotty Drake is the only one I think people go around saying he's dead and he's not. But such a shame, 65 years of age. And her story is a tragic one. The reason she left that TV series was because her one and only husband that she had married like back in the 70s died. And she didn't want to continue working. She was distraught, so she left the TV show. The production did not want to go on without her, but they did. And that was, as far as anybody knows, one of the last working jobs that she had.
Yeah.
It was that 70s show, and that was like 2006. So,
But I will tell you, I almost fell into that category. But
I know somebody that was kind of making plans for you being dead when you had your heart attack.
Yeah. So you want to take the 5 o'clock show? Come see me.
Yeah. So
I'm not dead yet.
yeah.
But
don't count them out yet.
yeah, but it almost did happen to me, and this was in a really fluid, tragic situation. If you remember, in about, I guess it was about 2002 or so, we had the cops that were serving a warrant, and the person they were serving the warrant on opened fire.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Officer Melanson was killed immediately. 2 other officers were hit. Terry Melanson died at the scene, but someone called and said the second officer has died at Our Lady of the Lake. And I thought, and I said, wait a minute, this person is not at Our Lady of the Lake. This person is not with the police department. I am going to wait. I am not going to say that on the air.
However, other broadcast sources did.
Other broadcast sources did. And it was horrible, because while this officer was very, very gravely injured.
Who was PIO at Baton Rouge Police Department? Don Kelly?
Don Kelly.
Don Kelly probably didn't take too kindly to people pronouncing one of his officers dead.
He did not at all. He happened to call the station, and I did not say it. Somebody else at our station, WJBO at the time, said it. And he read me the riot act. And I said, look, I was out of the room for a second. I will get to the bottom of it, and I will also go on the air, and I will apologize. And then Brian Haldane and I went to Chief LaDuff that evening when he was having a press conference and apologized in person. But this poor thing, and you know, this thing with Tanya Roberts is just so innocent. You know, 2 people that are very involved in her life and obviously cared about her very much. And they kind of got their wires crossed. And now, unfortunately, at least for a few days, her death is going to become kind of a punchline. Remember when Garrett Morris used to open Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update with, in today's headlines, Generalissimo Franco is still dead.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
This is going to be, yeah, Tanya Roberts actually is dead.
Well, God rest her soul.
We apologize.
By the way, she was worth over $10 million at the time of her death.
Really? $10 million.
Yep. All right, time to
collapsed in front of her home walking the dog, huh? Her partner saying, I just held her in my arms and said, $10 million.
Yep. Just said goodbye to her. Hey, we're going to take our first break of the hour. We'll be back in just moments with more on Exiles TV.
I'm so sorry.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Yeah, back to Exiles TV. This Tanya Roberts thing, Bill brought up a very good point, and it's sometimes we pronounce people dead prematurely because it's just bad media. In this case, the publicist for Tanya Roberts and her family just jumped the gun.
Yeah.
He just jumped the gun.
He thought her live-in, boyfriend, her partner, who had been with her for years, had told her that she had just died because he said, I looked into her eyes one last time.
And it sounds to me like a simple misunderstanding.
Yeah.
A simple misunderstanding. Bill related a story of a Baton Rouge police officer killed in the line of duty.
Sheriff's deputy.
Was it a sheriff's deputy or
you're
police
right.
officer?
Sheriff Malonzo,
That was Baton Rouge police, and a second officer that was in very serious condition but was not yet dead, but a source was calling media and saying that he was. And Bill was careful enough not to repeat it without confirmation, but other media outlets pronounced the guy dead, and that, of course, made the public information officer for Baton Rouge Police very, very angry. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of 2016.
Yeah.
When a sheriff's deputy was shot by Gavin Long on Airline Highway. He's still in very, very serious condition.
Yes, he's been through rehab after rehab after rehab, and he is struggling. But, I mean, he's making some progress, which is great.
Deputy Nick Toulier. One time, we were merely relaying the latest. This was not long after the shooting, and it had been several months, but we were merely updating our radio audience on the condition of Nick Toulier and the headline, and we just read the headline. The headline from a news source said, Deputy Toulier's condition remains grave. I don't know if his family actually heard that firsthand or somebody called them up, but they were very upset with Bill and I because we had said that their boy was in the grave. It's like, no, we said his condition was grave, and if you don't know the difference, then consult a dictionary.
Well, it was also what the medical doctors put into the release that the family said, go ahead and release it.
Yeah, now I don't want to pull the scab off of that old wound, and we certainly mean no disrespect to the family of Nick Toulier. They were considering what they were going through at the time and have been going through ever since 2016. That, I think, is to be understood. But this is what happens sometimes when people speak and other people aren't listening with the keenest ear. So, at any rate...
Well, and I do... The emotions were at an absolute razor's edge, particularly when it came to Deputy Toulier's dad and mom. From the very beginning, I think that they were raw with emotion, and I think that they were very, very suspicious that their son was not getting the best care that was available at the time. Mm-hmm. They always seemed to be looking for something to be angry about. And in that situation, I think I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot to be angry about. I mean, their son was taken from them, effectively. I mean, it's tough to have someone right there in the room with you, but you don't have them. They're not with you.
Yes.
As I understand it, Nick is better as far as he seems to realize who he's with and what's going on in the room with him. So improvements have been made, but anyway, our prayers continue to go out for the Touliers and their family.
And again, we often are in the position, whether it's back in the radio days or now, in working with material that is given to us by the ultimate source at the time. And this was from the physicians that were battling to save his life and to save his quality of life. It was their wording. It was not mine. It was not Kevin's. That they said that Deputy Toulier remained in grave condition. And our intent was to inform all the people that were praying for him, that cared about him, that wanted to be able to help if he needed anything, so that they understood fully the battle he was in at that time. And I've got to tell you, to have someone call me on the phone and jump my ass like that with accusations, it pissed me off. And it'll piss me off if it happens again.
I did not get angry with the man.
Oh, I did. You didn't. I got the first call. You got the second one.
Yeah. I did not get angry with the man, but just because I can only imagine what he and his wife are going through with their grown son, who now requires constant care because of an assassin's bullet.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's That's the way these stories, these Tanya Roberts type stories happen, is somebody goes off, pardon the phrase, half-cocked, and boom. Next thing you know, you've got... The other one that bothers me is, how many times have you been on your social media page? I'm assuming your Facebook, right? A lot of us older folks, Facebook is the old folks' social media.
Is it?
Yep. Kids don't do Facebook anymore, man. It's not hip.
Well, they do it disappears in 30 seconds because most of the time they're showing their junk.
They use Snapchat because they don't want people, they don't want evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
But how many times have you been going through your news feed on Facebook and, you got Roy Clark dies. Oh my God, Roy Clark died? It's like, yeah, Roy Clark died 3 years ago. Somebody shared that story without looking at the date line on it.
Yeah.
How many times has Clint Eastwood been pronounced dead on social media?
Yeah.
Still kicking. But the two that bother me is the one that's just patently not true, like a Clint Eastwood, and then the one that's, yes, I know, he's been dead for 7 years. Why are you sharing this with us now? Did you bother looking at the date before you shared the story?
Well, and I think that's the real problem with social media. I use social media to communicate friendly things with my friends on social media or fun things. I don't use it as a source of information, and I don't expect that anything I see that's purported to be a source of information has been properly vetted. We work very, very hard. If somebody says, well, there was a kid hit by a car, went 30 feet in the air on Corsi Boulevard yesterday. It was awful. My first thing I say is, were you there? Did you see it?
See it?
Well, no, but my hairdresser's cousin's brother-in-law told me.
Well, if you can't count on your hairdresser's cousin's brother-in-law, what kind of world do we live in, Bill?
Exactly. And that's part of the problem. So apologies for having to do the Tanya Roberts story again.
And again.
And I mean, I know I've got a little odd sense of humor. There's something kind of funny about having to do it with the correct date of death. But, these things happen, and we try not to make them happen often.
I still think it's just a shame. 65 years old, she's out walking the dog, and she just, boom, just collapses. And are they, I'm waiting to see when they release the actual cause of death. What happened to her?
Well, I mean, I have a feeling that they are going to have some sort of an inquest, because I don't think they really know yet.
Well, that's what that autopsy's for. And the thing is, not everybody wants an autopsy.
No.
For instance, when my father died, the hospital was like, would you like a postmortem? I was like, no. Knowing exactly what did it's not going to bring him back. He was sick with a lot of things. We don't need to cut him open to find out.
Well, we had the same thing when my dad died. My dad died on the couch with the remote in his hand.
That's the way I want to go.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, the people that responded said...
Remote in this hand, beer in this hand.
Well, they said, you can tell that he just went in his sleep and never knew he was going, because he didn't have the phone in his hand. He wasn't on the floor reaching for the phone. He wasn't, trying to get to the door. So he never knew it. But my Aunt Mary, God rest her soul, my godmother, my favorite aunt, my dad's younger sister, the last one to pass. And she calls me, and this was like 20 minutes after I'd heard the news from my little sister. And she says, I want an autopsy. I said, we're not going to have an autopsy, Aunt Mary. And you don't get to make that call. And she said, we don't have heart attacks in our family. And I said, Aunt Mary,
everybody has heart attacks in their family.
When you smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day, even though you have asthma, when you eat nothing, and this is the truth about my dear father, you eat nothing but red meat, eggs, and fried potatoes, nothing else in your diet but that, occasionally some pasta, you have heart attacks. But sometimes you don't get a choice.
Well, I'm sorry that your parents both died when you were so young. That's a terrible thing to have happen to a young person.
Yeah, it is what it is, but at least, my dad went very, very peacefully.
That's good.
Yeah. But
God bless him.
But sometimes when it comes to the autopsy thing, you don't have a choice. if you don't have a doctor, if Tanya Roberts had not seen a doctor in a while, and they say, are you willing to say that you feel fairly sure that she had a stroke or a heart attack? And he says yes, then you won't have an autopsy. Mm-hmm. If she showed up at the hospital, there was no definitive diagnosis because they were too busy trying to keep her alive, there's going to be an autopsy. Sometimes you don't get a choice.
We're going to take another break, take care of some business, and Exiles returns in just a moment. Stay here.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Right now, during the Team Honda Upgrade event, get a new 20 Accord Sport for just $309 a month with no money down, no first payment, and no security deposit. It's time to upgrade to your new Honda at Louisiana's #1 new car dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hey, we're back with Exiles TV. And say, Bill,
Yes?
are you one of those people that when the New Year's rolls along, you say, in this coming new year, I resolve to do or not do something? Do you make those?
I will be honest with you. I used to make them. I haven't maybe for 10 years.
I always blow them within 3 weeks. So
well, you're like most people. 21 days is the average that most people can stick.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, what would I resolve to do that would be significant?
I'd like to make more money in the new year, but that's not exactly up to me.
That's exactly right. You're resolving, and a lot of people make that resolution to make more money in the coming year, but that's not really up to them.
That's something you have complete control over.
You know, but I mean, the old lose weight, the be a kinder, gentler person, you know, those are things you can control. But I think a lot of us used to make them because of habit. I mean, I'd be tempted now to make a resolution that would be more appropriate to my station in life by saying, this year I'm going to try to be able to take a whiz from a foot further back. You know, that kind of thing.
Might be this year I'm going to try to sleep through the night without having to take a whiz.
Yeah. Yeah, see what I'm talking about?
But that's not up to me.
True enough.
Yikes.
You know,
but what I'm assuming losing weight is going to be one of your major things that people resolve to do in the new year, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Here, I have got in front of me the top New Year's resolutions from every state in the nation.
Top New Year's resolution. Should we cue Paul Schaefer in the band?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Number one, this might not surprise you. Exercise to get in shape.
Yeah.
All right. Number two is diet to lose weight.
Okay.
Number three is save money.
Save money. That's the real trick these days, isn't it? Saving money.
Number five is eat healthier in general.
Okay. All right. Makes good sense.
Learn a new skill. Get a new job and care for yourself better are tied for the bottom slot in the top.
Okay, care for yourself better. Is that psychologically or physically?
Or does that mean you're going to a dark room and watching something on a little screen and caring for yourself?
Spend way too much time in the shower.
Yeah.
I don't know these things.
I don't know.
You know, it's funny, my older brother, not my eldest brother, but my older brother used to, on the subject of New Year's resolutions, when asked, he would say, you know, Jeff, what are your New Year's resolutions? What are you going to try? He says, making a New Year's resolution would be presuming there's something wrong with me to begin with.
He's an engineer, isn't he?
He's an IT guy.
An IT guy, same thing.
Physical IT guy, not software IT guy. He builds them.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Now, in our general vicinity, in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama,
eat more boudin.
We all have the same number one New Year's resolution. Save money.
Yeah.
Save money.
You've got to make money to save money, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look, here's money.
What is interesting is this kind of rough and tumble center of the Midwest and the South, from Utah all the way to Missouri, and then down to Texas, they all want to get in shape.
Of course, we all do.
Exercise.
We all do. We all believe that exercise will prolong our life.
South Carolina is interesting. Their number one resolution was to get a new job.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting. That is one of the more interesting ones that I've seen.
Now, a couple of years ago, mine would have been hold on to the job I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try to appreciate people that are so dissatisfied in their job that they're seeking a new one. But it's like, hey, you got a job.
Yeah,
you got one.
You have a job. In Minnesota, they're
Minnesota. What more cheese?
Yeah, their number one resolution is to try to even get weirder.
Are you serious? You reading that?
They're the self-care people.
Oh, geez.
Kumbaya, my stuff. Kumbaya.
Okay.
Kumbaya, my junk.
All
Kumbaya.
right, stop it.
You ever been to Minnesota?
No. Come to think of it, never. Why on earth would I want to go? Two states I've never been to in my life: Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Well, and Wisconsin and Minnesota share a border.
They're the same state.
But they're very different people. In Wisconsin, they'll tell you a dirty joke. They'll tell you an ethnic joke. They'll tell you, they're big on the dumb Swede and the Polish jokes. Mm-hmm. Okay, because they have very few in the way of African Americans, so they don't do much of those kind of jokes, thankfully. And they'll slap you on the back, have a big old beer and a shot. Minnesota is like, okay, I haven't gone out to find somebody from a country that craps in the street so that I can bring them here and let them crap on our street today. So I'm going to leave you now and go find that
Well,
person.
right now, Michigan's leading the nation in that.
But Michigan has one little area that they mine.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, they will get specific. They'll go look for somebody from southwest Yemen. They are just the weirdest ass people you have ever seen in your life.
Oh, jeez.
They just.
I had an aunt that married into our family from Minnesota, and she was like, "Oh, you kids want some pop?" You know,
Yeah.
What is pop?
Carbonated beverage?
You know,
Or-
sody
Yeah,
pop.
well, here in Louisiana, every carbonated beverage is Coke.
Exactly. Mississippi's where I learned that.
In Illinois,
You
every
want a Coke?
carbonated beverage is Pepsi.
You want a Coke? Yeah. What kind of Coke do you want? Oh,
Coke?
of course, nowadays with Coke, you can get cherry Coke, you can get vanilla Coke, you can get Coke free, you can get Coke, Diet Coke.
What is it? Sugar free?
Coke with feathers.
Yeah. Coke with hooves.
Yipes.
You know, all these states, you know.
But
and-
people don't. People make them. And how many people have you ever really met that like, you know, the year was over and they went, yep, right through 12 months. I kept that resolution right to the.
I don't think I've ever cared enough to ask anybody, so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever heard of anybody that kept their resolution.
Now, I know some.
Other than this year, I'm gonna kill that bee.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep breathing. No, the thing with New Year's resolutions, when people actually change their life, it's usually something very dramatic that happens, not just, you know, hey, Happy New Year.
Yes.
And it's because to me, I'm sorry, this week is the same as last week. I know it was 2020 last week, and this week it's 2021, but same crap, different day.
Well, yeah, there is kind of a continuum, you know.
So, you know, why make it on the new year? But, you know, you see people that, like, you know, we've had friends that have had some heart trouble, right? Mm-hmm. They come out of heart trouble and they're thankful to be alive. And next thing you know, they're jogging, they're eating right, they're losing weight. But they've made that now their new life. It's not a New Year's resolution. This is necessity in order to live longer. But I want to remind you, Tanya Roberts was out for a healthy walk when she.
Jim Fix, the
Jim
most
Fix,
famous
the
long
guy who
distance
invented
runner.
jogging, was
Yeah.
jogging when he died.
When he died.
So, you know, I mean, you can say what you want about exercise. It may not be the be-all, end-all.
Years ago, I had a friend, and uncharacteristically for me, I bit my tongue.
You?
But we happened to be at the same place on New Year's Eve, and somebody started talking about resolutions, and of course the stupidity flowed, you know, and a lot of people were making things up, and this guy got very, very serious, and he was right on the cusp of this well before New Year's, because he had pretty much screwed everything up in his life that you could, and so the next step here after booze and blow and several divorces and bankruptcy is you become extra Jesus-y.
I see. Yeah.
That's
okay.
the next thing. And I wonder if there's a Jewish version of that. But I digress. But anyway, he looked at me and said, this year my resolution is I'm going to get better acquainted with the Lord. I bit my tongue and walked away
Good,
going,
that's good. That's good.
What, speed dating? You know, Facebook friends?
What, do you want to borrow money from him? or-
Yeah, you're gonna have a cup of coffee at La Divina one morning. You know, it's like pabulum for the brain. You know, but you know what? A lot of these people that do the booze and do the drugs and do the cigarettes and do all of this other gambling, they have to switch one addiction for another. They
Yep.
never really.
And
And I guess if you got to switch, getting addicted to the Lord, there are worse things.
You know, Cheech and Chong had a bit. It was like, I used to be all messed up on drugs, but since I found the Lord, now I'm all messed up on the Lord.
Well, and, you know, the thing is, it's all.
It's like you said, swapping addictions.
It's all too predictable. The 12 steppers.
Still, it can't hurt to have a better relationship with God.
Boy, you get addicted to going to those meetings.
But it cannot hurt to have a better relationship with God. And you know, if time comes and you're wrong, you've lost nothing. But if you did not practice a righteous life, and the time comes and all of that was true, what do you say?
But you know,
Oops.
it's an individual
Can
thing.
I get it anyway?
speaking for myself, I think the Almighty looks down and every now and then looks at me and says, we're good at this distance. We're okay.
Yeah, it's
We're
okay.
good. I really, yeah, just do what you do. I think, I don't want you much closer with me.
Yeah, better acquainted.
Yeah, we're good.
I have to watch you eat all the time anyway.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
All right, let's take another break.
I'm not speaking for you. No, Marty needs the Lord in his life.
Marty, you liking this? Here we go. As we kiss goodbye to 2020 and say hello
Mwah!
to 2021. We'll be right back on Exiles TV.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Back at Exiles TV. Bill Profita over there, who is resolved in the new year to be Bill Profito.
If I had a nickel for every time somebody called me that.
Profito?
Profito.
Like, comes in a bag,
yeah,
a Mylar bag from Frito-Lay.
It is extra spicy.
It's new,
it is crisp.
tasty, nacho cheese Profitos.
Now here's somebody who did not resolve to stop drinking. This kind of story really, really, really hacks me off. This is from Prairieville. You might have seen this last night. An alleged drunk driver was taken into custody and charged with second offense DWI after smashing into the back of an ambulance.
Saw that.
Heading to the hospital in Gonzales. Now, it was on I-10 near 73. Louis Long III has been charged with second offense DWI, following too closely, you think, and driving without a license.
By the way, the ambulance had a patient they were transporting to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And they had lights on and the whole deal. It was an Acadian ambulance. They said the ambulance was traveling between 60 and 70, depending on the traffic. It was on I-10.
He was tailgating them at 70 miles an hour.
The vehicle was estimated at going 100 miles per hour, struck the back of the ambulance with a patient on board. The patient was not seriously hurt.
Oh, I see what happened. He was cruising along at a high speed, and he comes up and dodging in and out, and he comes up behind the ambulance, and despite the many, many times he probably hollered, get out of the way from behind the wheel, why, my God, the ambulance didn't get out of the way.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
They must not have heard him. So this guy's, and that's his second offense?
Second offense. Now, Justin Cox with the Acadian Ambulance said this, and this is kind of reassuring. Because of the reinforcement that is part of the specifications of the ambulances they use, I believe they use Mercedes Sprinter ambulances at Acadian. The outcome was better as far as protecting the patient and paramedic in the back of the ambulance. Now, Mr. Long was taken to the Ascension Parish Jail upon his arrest. He blew .131.
Holy mackerel, that's almost twice.
Yeah, in Louisiana, .08 is the legal driving limit. So I think that we can assume that Mr., what's his name? Louis Long III.
Louis Long III.
There's no booking photograph of him. I'd love to see that.
No, that would be great. Here's a question. I've lost track of drunk driving law. He could lose his license on a second offense, couldn't he?
He could lose his license, and since there are other charges, he could also go to jail. So he's got a summons March 2nd to appear in court March 2nd. Yeah.
An answer for his stupidity. Speaking of stupidity, I got to bring this up briefly because I think Clarence Buggs is going to talk about it a little more in depth during his program.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to steal the thunder.
Oh no, Clarence will have a different take from you and I.
But Sunday, when Congress convened and people were sworn in and things like that, it was the official opening of the 117th Congress. Mm-hmm. And the man who gave the benediction, if you will, the prayer to open up Congress, was an ordained minister. And give me a minute, I'm going to have to...
Yeah, I want to know what faith he's ordained in, or if he's one of these self-ordained, sent-in three-box tops types of ministers. Because I think I know where you're going with this.
Anyway, you probably heard about this. This is a Democratic senator, Democratic representative from Missouri named Emanuel Cleaver. No relation to Ward and June. He is a Democrat from Missouri.
He's never even seen the beaver.
And he is also an ordained minister. Let me say that again, an ordained minister.
Look up what faith he is ordained in. I got to know.
Probably take me a little bit, but Methodist, thank you so much.
37 years.
Okay.
37 years?
37 years a Methodist. Then do you really, I'm going to try to give the man a little benefit of the doubt and say perhaps he was attempting some humor.
No.
He ended the prayer with amen and a woman.
He's Percy Sledge.
Amen.
When a man loves a woman.
Amen and a woman. Amen is not a gender term at all. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Is this guy that stupid?
Or amen a gender term? I want to think maybe it was an attempt at humor.
Nah.
Amen and a woman. Amen is, I can't remember the original Latin is amen.
Omen is Hebrew. Hebrew. Amen
but it basically
is Latin.
means so be it. That's what it means.
Yes.
So when people are yelling amen in church, what they're yelling is so be it, but they don't know it because who bothers with history anymore? It's boring. Especially not Representative Emanuel Cleaver, amen and a woman.
Is there a picture of him?
Yeah.
I want to see if we have garanimals for people, where you can look at somebody and tell that they're stupid.
I don't know. Let's see if we have an image of this guy I can bring up for you.
There's certain people you look at them and you can tell they're stupid.
He's kind of got that. I'm not the smartest guy. Well, it's going to take us 10 years for this thing to load.
Come on. But what's his point? What is his point of doing that?
Well, Congress is getting ready to.
There we go. We got a picture.
Congress is getting. Well, he's got a mask on. God bless him. Congress is getting ready to. The House is getting ready to look at a bill that would, in all federal government dealings, remove gender pronouns.
Why?
Well, because lunatics on the left think that for some reason there shouldn't be any gender pronouns.
Here's the whole deal. What they all need to look at, and it's becoming increasingly apparent that they all need to do this, is they all need to look at Merriam-Webster's dictionary.
Also, read some books on genetics. Read some books on common human plumbing.
Oh my!
There used to be an old joke. How do you tell a boy chromosome from a girl chromosome? You pull down its genes.
I love that one.
It's a great old joke, but it really says it all. It's like, look down there. Do you see anything? Well, then you're a man.
Here you and I are with no kids at all making dad jokes.
Hey, it is what it is. But I thought that was an incredibly stupid moment in Congress. But no doubt, in the 117th Congress, you're going to see a whole lot more stupid to come in the months and weeks ahead. A whole lot more stupid to come because, see, the thing is, the Democrats and the liberals and the progressives, they're all about feelings. They're not about facts. They're not about the factual matters and how things are.
Jeez, we should elect Morris Albert.
They're about how things ought to be, and nothing more than feelings.
Ceilings. I paint walls and ceilings.
And I think that's probably the biggest difference, I think, between conservatives and liberal progressives is that conservatives tend to deal with things as they are. And how do we cope with this? How do we get a solution as things are, as opposed to how do we remake things to how we feel that they should be?
When did the American English Lexicon, for those of you in the LP, that means all the words.
Well, that was low.
But it was correct.
You need to take it maybe a little farther. They don't get us in Tangipahoa. Take it down there.
I'd have to write it out in longhand. But when did the lexicon become the purview of the Congress of the United States, more specifically the House of Representatives?
Dude.
I mean, this is a serious question.
Under this
your knitting, people.
Under this House leadership, every aspect of our lives, personal, professional, every aspect of our lives should be, I think, in their eyes, under government scrutiny and regulation.
Oh, and we have some
everything.
We have some aspects in the House of Representatives. We have some aspects. We have aspects with exit ports in the House. For those of you in the LP, never mind.
Okay, Tangipahoa. Take it down, Tangipahoa.
It's a short hop.
Is that to the end of the show, or is that to the next break?
That's to the next break.
Cool.
Look at him, he's nodding. You asked him a question with two possible answers, and he nods.
I'm having so much fun, though, I don't care. Yesterday, we ran it right to the end. It was like, whoop, time's up. Bye.
Time's up.
We have so much fun doing this thing sometimes. But
who on earth elects somebody to the House of Representatives that thinks that this is an important thing to do?
Stay in your lane, bro.
Thank you. Stay in your lane.
Like I said, this kind of crap, this kind of touchy-feely, manny, womany, gender studies, gender equity, this kind of crap, it's smoke and mirrors so that they don't have to do the things we need them to do. Balance the budget, deal with the debt, assure that we all are guaranteed the freedoms guaranteed us by the Constitution. Don't seek to subvert the Constitution.
Well, and gender equity is kind of built into the genetics.
You notice we're not saying equality anymore. We're saying gender equity.
Equity again,
racial equity
is another word that shouldn't be part of what Congress deals with.
Equity is the borrowing value of your home.
Yeah. So, wait a minute. If you're of the female gender and you got like Pelosi's. Is your equity better than someone who's got like OAC's?
I don't know. And again, we brought this up briefly yesterday.
The borrowing value.
Before we go to break, we brought this up briefly yesterday. It is highly significant that Nancy Pelosi was elected to another 2 years as House Speaker.
Barely.
By 7 votes. Now, the majority of Democrats to Republicans is a much wider margin than 7 members. So that means a whole bunch of Democrats voted for new leadership. They would rather had, that means a bunch of Democrats would rather have Kevin McCarthy, a conservative Republican, leading the House than that woman.
6 votes difference.
7 votes.
Yeah, but who's counting?
Who's? All right, quick break. We'll be back for our last segment. Wrap it up on Exiles.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreysstoneCountryClub.com.
Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Days sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Northwestern.
Hey, we're back for our final bite of the apple here on Exiles TV, and thank you so much for being with us. As we mentioned earlier in the show, today's a big day in Georgia, as they're electing, they have a runoff election for both of their Senate seats.
Yeah.
If the Democrats take both of those seats, it's going to affect the balance of power in the Senate. And the Democrats will have a majority, a simple majority, but a majority in the Senate. And if Republicans win, then the Republicans will hold on to the Senate.
I'm not much of a prognosticator, but I think this is going to be a split.
I do too.
I think the people are going to give Kelly Loeffler, the nod over the crazy reverend who is running against her.
That guy Warnock?
Yeah.
He's
nuts.
out there. He's out there.
Well, not only that, but she hasn't actually had a full term. She was appointed to fill an unexpired term. This election is out of place for that particular seat. Okay? And then I think that...
it was John Lewis's seat, right?
No, he wasn't in the Senate. He was in the House.
You're right.
And then I think Sonny Perdue may have met his match. The guy that's running against him is just a better campaigner. I mean, and he's very, very youthful and exuberant, and so we'll see. I'm thinking it's going to be a split. I think it's going to be a split decision, as they say in boxing.
And then, of course, tomorrow, Wednesday, the Senate meets to either accept or reject the outcome of the presidential election. I don't recall this ever being a step other than a mere formality.
It is a mere formality.
In past elections, but Mike Pence has a big decision to make. Does he put an official stamp on this thing, or do he and other senators say, nope, there's irregularities and they need to be looked into?
It actually doesn't matter at this point. The Electoral College votes don't get taken away. That is the amen on all of this. This is
so be it.
Yeah, this is simply a historical formality, but it does give a chance for people who are worried that are facing re-election next year, that relied on Trump for a lot of support to assure their voters for next year that they're going to get, that they're still feeling the pain, as it were.
Whether the thing was lost, whether it was Trump supporters, whether it was lost fair and square, or whether it was lost by dirty chicanery that nobody wants to address, it's done. Really, it's done.
And so are we, by the way. We are out of time. Hope that you will join us again tomorrow. Be safe, be well.
God bless.